As we look to the east where the Russia-Ukrainian war is currently taking place, we can't help but reckon with the fact that Vladimir Putin, the strongman at the helm of the reins of Russia, is at it again. Always mired with controversy, it may not surprise you to know that there is much that we may not know about the ruler of one of the most powerful nations in the world. From his humble beginnings in the aftermaths of post-World War II Russia to a stint in the KGB which paved the way to his path to power, Putin has led an intriguing life. In this video today, we're going to tell you some of the most fascinating facts about one of the most powerful rulers in modern history. Here are some of the most captivating about President Vladimir Putin. Most humble beginnings. It may surprise us to learn that although Vladimir Putin is one of the wealthiest and most powerful men in the world at this moment, he was not a nepo baby that was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. In fact, his origins are far from that. Born on October 7, 1952 in Leningrad, Putin was the youngest of three brothers born to Vladimir Spiridonovich Putin, a conscript in the Soviet Navy, and Maria Ivanova Putin, a factory worker. The family had known much plight as the father was ultimately injured and disabled for life by a grenade during World War II. His mother and his siblings were not immune to this suffering, as two of his older brothers had given up the ghost long before he was even born. One of them even starved to death during the siege of Leningrad, an act of systematic starvation that his mother was lucky to survive. Following the dark days of the Second World War, Putin was forced to come up in what he would grow up to describe as a rat-infested and overcrowded apartment. It actually serves as a lesson to those currently enduring hard times. Such days don't last forever. Animal lover. Following such a difficult set of circumstances coming up, Putin must have found some refuge in falling in love with animals because the Russian president is surprisingly smitten by them. In fact, it is well documented that this hard man is a huge lover of dogs, and he's been photographed with many of them. He's also been photographed with horses, which he loves to ride. Strangely enough, he's also been an advocate for animal rights, as he has enacted laws which protect animals, such as endangered bears and cranes, as well as all the stray animals found in Russia. A soft touch for such a strong man. He was not a model student. As we observe as Putin disrupts much of the order in the known world, it may not come as a surprise to learn that Putin wasn't exactly a model student. As a kid, Putin was enrolled to study at Leningrad School number 281, a school that had a reputation for only accepting the brightest children in the nation. Bright as he may have been, it was soon discovered that Putin was as rambunctious as they come, as it was recorded in his gradebook that he often threw chalkboard erasers at his fellow students, didn't do his math homework, and often talked while classes were going on. If he wasn't doing that, he was getting into fights with his gym teacher and some of the older students in the school. It might be convenient to say now, but this must have been a sign of many things to come. Troublesome Sportsman. As you can tell from the several fights with his teachers and fellow students, Putin had energy to burn. Fortunately for him, he found an outlet that many children could have used to get rid of such unbridled vigor: sports. Although it may have started as a way to bring his mates to his heel, his proficiency for sports manifested in his love for combat sports like judo and sambo, a Russian form of martial arts. Ever the strongman, Putin is said to be a competent fighter, and it is believed that he's the first Russian to be awarded the 8th Dan of the Black Belt and has written several books on the martial arts. Look out for Judo by Vladimir Putin in stores or app stores near you if you want to learn to fight like the president of Russia. That said, there are some that doubt the combat reputation of the Russian president. Dissenters like Benjamin Wittes, the editor of Lawfare and a black belt in Taekwondo and Aikido, have claimed that Putin's martial arts credentials are in doubt, especially as there seems to be no video evidence of the president's judo prowess. Perhaps they should take a leaf from Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg's book and arrange that match in the octagon. I'd pay to see that, won't you?
Take my money.
He attended law school before becoming a KGB spy. With such a troublesome reputation, it may surprise us to know that somehow young Putin made it into law school. It's been claimed that he decided to embark on a law career because he's always had a desire to achieve a career with the KGB, the main security agency for the Soviet Union from the mid-50s to the beginning of the 90s when the Soviet Union fell. This fascination with the KGB began when he became captivated with the novel known as The Sword and the Shield, a novel that was centered around the exploits of a Soviet agent who contributed to the downfall of the Nazis. It seemed that he was also intrigued by the notion that one spy could influence the fate of thousands of people. Following this, he completed his law degree at the Leningrad State University before being recruited as one of several outsiders by the KGB as they were looking for fresh blood at the time. The rest is history, as once Putin completed his training at St. Petersburg, he took a job at the security agency where he served for about 15 years until the Berlin Wall fell. The rest, as they say, is history. One of the longest-serving rulers in modern history. Although we've watched as Putin has maintained an iron grip on the presidential seat since he first became the commander-in-chief of Russia on the 7th of May 2000, he has been acknowledged to be one of the longest-serving rulers of Russia after Stalin. Cumulative, he served for 20 years so far, with his first stint as the president of Russia lasting about 8 years over 2 terms between 2000 to 2008, before retaking the presidential hot seat from President Dmitry Medvedev in 2012, a seat that he holds to date. This length reign is going toe-to-toe with presidents like Paul Kagame, who has been at the helm of the Rwandan presidency since the 22nd of April 2000, and it is believed that if he's able to hold on to the Russian presidency for another 2 years, he will have similar reigns to people such as Paul Biya, who has been the president of Cameroon since 1982. Rags to riches. It's fair to say that since his rise to power, Putin has become far removed from the living conditions he and his family had to endure when he was a young kid struggling in a cramped apartment in Leningrad. In fact, it is believed that he must be one of the wealthiest men in the world, with such a claim making waves all over Russia, and indeed the entire world, when Alexei Navalny, a Russian opposition leader, decided to expose the illicit wealth of the Russian president. Following his arrest upon his return to Russia from Berlin, he released a video which exposed Putin's $1.35 billion mansion near Gelendzhik, a small town in southern Russia. In this video, viewers can see a port, a vineyard, a church, and incredibly, a casino and a hockey ice rink in what would be acknowledged as the largest residential premises in Russia, as it covers an area of 17,691 square meters. As such, people were alarmed at what was seen as evidence of the president's corruption, but Putin has vehemently rejected being the owner of such a lavish property. That said, there is no way we can believe that the president isn't an affluent man of wealth, even if he doesn't want to claim ownership of this scandalous mansion. With that, our video comes to an end. What fact surprised you the most about Putin? Do you really believe he loves animals? Do you think he can actually hold his own in a fight? He's 70 years old. Please let us know in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. Until next time, goodbye.